Okay guys, I'm back and in the second part of this and hopefully the last, the control panel again, and if you look at this, this is what they're talking about, mimics all of the other panels and it will house a wide variety of options. You'll see it has the transform panel. It also has the stroke, something to do with the stroke panel. It will also have, for example, the align panel. Those that seem to go with the tool that you're using or the object that you have selected. Again, based on the type of object selected, that control panel changes and offers a multitude of additional options for working with frames when you have that selected. And here's an example of some of the options that are available to you when you have the transform panel and some of the things available to you. Back into InDesign, the line tool makes lines. This would be the line tool, and it's the backslash tool to access it via a quick key. And you use the line tool to make horizontal, vertical, and diagonal lines in your document. When you click the line tool, the fill stroke colors at the bottom of the tool panel, they will default to a fill of none because lines have no fill, and then a stroke color. I'm going to click to bring that to the foreground and activate it. That changes, that defaults to black, but you can change that to any color you choose. Again, as long as the stroke color is at the foreground. And it does say you can apply a fill color to a line, but generally speaking, you only want to stroke a line with a color. So if we're back over here and create that line, bring the stroke color to the foreground, and then click the fill color with magenta so we can see it. I don't see any impact on that, so I've just always assumed that you cannot fill a stroke. Alrighty. Now going on, you can specify the line weight of the stroke, and you can specify the length as well on both the control and transform panels. You can use all 9 reference points in the control and transform panels to position a line in your layout too. Transform is a term that's used to describe the act of moving, scaling, skewing, or rotating an object. And again, you can do all of those in the transform panel. The following figure shows a rectangular frame that's 3 by 5 or 3 by 1.5. The center point is identified on the transform panel because the center reference point is selected on the transform panel. If you look at that, you're going to understand better what it's talking about. So there's the center reference point. There's a center reference point that is located on the transform panel. That means when you create some kind of a transformation, whether it's editing, rotating, or scaling, it's going to originate from that reference point. Again, the point of origin is the point from which a transformation happens. The transform again command is great, and I'll show you, or I think you have an opportunity to work in the exercises creating this transform again. It repeats the last transformation executed, and there's just some cool things that you can do with that. Useful for creating multiple objects at specified different distances. Now, back to the master pages. When you create a new master page, you have the option of giving the master page a new name. So we're going to go up to the Pages panel, and you can create a new master page. And when you do that, that gives you an option of identifying the name, a new name. So maybe I wanted to say this is my image master, and anytime I was going to include a page of images, this would be the master page that I would use, would be one use for that. You can load master pages from one InDesign document to another. That's kind of cool. You just click the Master Pages Panel Options button pointing to Master Pages and then click Load Masters. So again, one of these down-facing arrow options that allows you to apply or add or load master pages. When you create a document with multiple pages, chances are you'll want to have page numbers on each page, and it's easily accomplished. I don't think it's so easy to find, but it is easily accomplished when you create placeholder text frames for page numbers on your master pages. Actually, the process is a little bit, I think, unwieldy in terms of maybe some of the other software that you have that you've used this with, but I'm going to get a text frame and I'm going to click a frame right here. And you can tell I'm on the master page because I have the dotted selection box around it. Then I'm going to go up under Type, and I'm going to go down to Insert Special Character. I'm going to go over to Markers, and there I find Current Page Number. I'm going to click on that, and you'll see that that automatically fills with an A. That reflects the A master. So anything that the A master is applied to on the left-hand page, on the left-hand side of your document layout, that will add that page number. So I'm going to create this a little bit larger so you can actually see it on my pages as well. Hopefully you can see. Whoop. Well, let's back up one or two. All right, so I've added an automatic page numbering system to my document. I've added one to the left-hand page of the double page layout. So if I double click on page 2, or bring page 2 up into my document window, that should show, which it's not for some reason. I don't know, maybe it's because I haven't applied it yet. Let's try to apply it. Should apply, it should show. All right, let me get this up into my full document. All right, so this is where I applied it. I guess I thought I was on the left-hand side of my A master. I was actually on the right-hand side, and you can see that on the right-hand side of my document window, or my layout pages, you'll see a new page number assigned. So if you go to page 7, you'll see that there's page number 7. And again, that's all accomplished on the A master. And again, I thought I was on the left-hand side. I was on the right-hand side. And you can see how important it is to know which side you're on or which page number you're on, because what you apply to that particular master page is going to apply to that side of the layout in your double page layout. All right, let's get out of here. Back over to the overheads. Now, we previously learned that we shouldn't press the space bar more than once to create extra spacing between characters. However, sometimes a single space doesn't provide enough space between words, and so you may want to insert an additional space to achieve a certain look. In the design world, that happens frequently. And so there are options for you to be able to do that. I think we talked about it just briefly last week. The Type menu contains commands for inserting white space between words or characters. So if you go under Type and you go down to Insert White Space, you'll see you can insert M space or N space, and a number of other options are available to you as well. The width of an M space is equivalent to that of the lowercase letter m in the current typeface of that size. So again, it depends on what typeface you are using, as well as the type size, and the M space is the equivalent to the width of a lowercase m. The width of an N space is narrower, and that's of the lowercase n in the typeface at that type size. I always forget that, but that's interesting. And maybe not useful in terms of, the space is definitely useful. Maybe you don't need to know what it stands for. Now sometimes you'll want to put a dash between words or characters, and you'll find that the dash created by pressing the hyphen key is not wide enough, and that's because hyphens are shorter than dashes. So InDesign offers two types of dashes to insert between words or characters. And again, if you go up to insert special character, you can insert an M dash or an N dash, and again different sizes based on the type size and the type's face that you're using. And here is an example of an N dash. Okay, back to master pages. You can create a new master page based on another master page. The new master would appear identical to the first, but then you would only modify elements that you want to change on the new master, keeping all of the elements that you don't want to change consistent with the previous one. Basing a new master on another master is not the same thing as duplicating a master. That creates a copy, but the original and copy have no relationship. When you base one on another, any change that you make to the first master will be updated on the masters based on it. And once you've created master pages, then you use the Pages panel to apply them to document pages. One way that you can do that is just click dragging and dropping. A second method for applying master pages is to use the Apply Master to Pages command on the Pages panel menu. So if you click on this drop down, you'll see Apply Master to Pages, and you can do that as well. It gives you options of what master as well as to what pages. Dragging a master page icon onto a single page, that's an example of that, and then dragging a master page icon onto the spread. It's a little bit more difficult, but just watch these dark lines, and if you have it exactly centered, it should, and honestly I think that you have to drop it down to the lower right hand corner in order to apply it to a spread. When you modify a master item on a master page, that modification will be reflected on all of the document pages based on that master page. They're designed to allow you to lay out the basic elements for a page that will be used repeatedly. Again, we've talked about that. In most cases, however, you will want to make modifications to the document page once it's created. You might even want to delete some of those objects. And master page items on document pages are fixed, and they can't be selected with normal methods. So we're going to go back over here, and I'm going to go down to page 7. And you'll see that I can get my selection tool, but that does not allow me to select anything on that any of that page number 7. It's because if you've applied it to a master page, that doesn't allow that's locked then on your layout pages. You can modify a master page item on a document page by overriding, and you can override that master page item by pressing and holding Shift Control if you're on a Windows, or Shift Command if you're on a Mac like I am. And then if you just click, that will allow you to select and then modify that particular page, master page item. Making changes to a document page is often referred to as a local change. When you override a master page item, that item nevertheless maintains its status as a master item and will be updated with changes to the master page. Once a master item has been released from its fixed position, it remains selectable. You can return a master item on a document page back to its original state by selecting the item, clicking the Pages panel options button, and then clicking Remove Selected Local Override. So again, if I wanted that to return to the master page, I can click on this down facing arrow and say override, remove. I go to master pages and then remove selected local overrides. And now you'll see that it becomes a master page item again. When you're sure you no longer want a master page item to be affected by updates made to the associated master page, you can detach a master item. When it comes to text, it's a smart idea to use master pages only for the placement, but use characters and paragraph styles for global formatting on of the text itself. Once you've created a text frame, either on the master page or a document page, you can type directly into the frame, or you can place text from another document into it. When creating headlines, you usually type them directly into the text frame. And then when you create body copy, you'll often find yourself placing text from another document. That's typically how I have you do it, because quite often you're working with a client's Word document or client's text, so you'll be placing text from a client's document. Placing text in InDesign is simple and straightforward. You simply create a text box. I'm going to get the text, or not. You may have created that with a column. And then you're going to go up to File and Place. And any kind of a Word document, I don't know if I have any that are, let's see, on my files. I'm sure I've got one in here someplace, right? Maybe not. Here's a syllabus. I know that's a Word document, so I'm going to show import items, select that, and I'm going to click open. And if I say show import options, there's a dialog box that comes up that allows you to identify what it is you want to bring into with that placement. Normally I unclick preserving styles. I don't want to do that. I want to remove styles so that I can actually style it or typeset it from InDesign, and then click OK. And you'll see what happens is because I had that text frame selected and my cursor already in there, it automatically placed my document. So I'm going to just create a frame. And then I'm going to deselect that. And then I'm going to go to File and Place. I'm going to navigate back out there to wherever that, okay, taco salad ingredients. Open. I'm going to remove. That's now a default, and I'm going to click OK. And you'll see that I have a loaded cursor that allows me to choose where I want to place that text. And there's a couple of other options too. I can choose if I want, now see, as I change my cursor and I hit the Alt or the Option key with that gives me a different option. I can either add columns if this document is too big for that column, or I can also add pages. And again, you'll have an opportunity to work with that on your exercises. You can apply a text wrap to the overlapping frame in order to force the underlying text to wrap. All right, so now we're wrapping text. We're almost through here, thank goodness. I'm sorry, hopefully I didn't put you to sleep. Offers many options for wrapping text. So I'm going to go back out to this document window here. And I am going to go down to a different page. And I'm going to create a text frame. And I'm going to fill it with placeholder text so you can see what a text wrap does. So again, I'm going to get my type tool. I'm going to select a text frame. It's big. And then I'm going to do type and fill with placeholder text. And then I'm going to go up and get a graphics frame, rectangle frame tool. I'm going to click and drag that on top of that text, and I'm going to do a file and place, and I'm going to place an image in that graphics frame. All right, now what I'm going to do is I am going to say object fitting, and I want to fill that frame proportionally because I want the text frame just about that size. One thing just of note, when you bring in an image, you'll see that it looks quite pixelated. Possibly that's due to the fact that InDesign is just showing us a preview. It's not showing us the full resolution image. To check that out, to make sure that your image is not going to print pixelated, you can go over to Display Performance and High Quality Display, and you'll see that that then clarifies that, makes it the actual resolution that it's going to print at. Okay, so we are again doing text wraps. So we are going to go up under Window, and we are going to bring up the text wrap panel. And you'll see that I do, right now it indicates no text wrap, but I'm going to change that to wrap around the object shape. And then I'm also, now the problem with that is that image is a lot larger than what my frame is, so you'll see that it's attempting to start to create a wrap that goes around that entire shape. I think that's a wrong decision. I instead want to wrap around my bounding box. So I'm going to click on that, and that should change it. I'm going to select it again. There, and then I want to do a wrap around the bounding box, and then I'm going to define how much I want that wrap to be. So I want it to be just a little bit beyond, let's see, I want the top offset to be maybe 0.625, and you'll see that because I had that link that applied that same offset to all sides of my image. And so that's how then your text starts to wrap around your particular image. I'm going to say I want it just a little bit larger. And you can see the wrap start to form here, and the automatically creates a line around your image. Now, because this is a little bit larger down here, probably because of some either a space or a paragraph or something of that sort that I have in that particular body copy. So you might need to go in and better define some of those things, find out why that's more of a space, and impact that if you want it to look as though it's a full 0.125 around all edges of your frame. Okay, and I think that's about it. If you have any questions, by all means, let me know. Thank you.